Hey folks, it is a really hot one today, so I'm gonna try to make this one a bit quicker. So today we're gonna be working on pivot and shove it combos and chaining. It's pretty self-explanatory. You pretty much have to have down all your shove it directions and all your pivot directions. So that means having your well, personally I do more fakie, so I have much stronger fakie pivots and fakie shuvits. Both front side and back side. Nollie I'm still working on a bit, but as long as you have all the shuvits in fakie or nollie, you'll be able to do chaining. So chaining is sort of throwing in all your pivots and shuvits in all directions together and making it a sort of combination and making it your own. So you can be really creative with this. You can do a pivot to a body varial, to a shove it, to a shove it, to another pivot, and it just goes on and on. So that's pretty much what chaining is. So as I've mentioned before, there isn't much to teach here. It entirely depends on how well you have your tricks down. Again, by tricks I mean fakie and nollie shuvits and pivots. And you can also throw in a little creative flair. I'll show you some of the moves I use later, but for now, once again, there's not much to teach. It's just have your tricks down solid and you'll be able to chain them one after the other. So I guess what I could show you guys, or the best way to approach teaching you guys is to show you an example, to use a chaining example. So, for example, let's say you want to do a fakie pivot to a fakie shove it, to a shove it, and then to a fakie pivot front side. So that would look something like this. So you do your pivot and you switch back and you do your shove it to back pivot. I'm more like introducing a concept because that's really what it is. The chaining is a concept. It's not a trick itself. You want to have your tricks down solid like I mentioned before. So pivots, shove-its, no complies, dancing, and then you sort of use your creativity and you sort of use your plethora of tricks to create new combos and infinite possibilities. So that's the really cool thing about chaining is you can pretty much make whatever you want and do it in whatever style you want. So it's cool. You can make it your own. Chaining takes a lot of time to practice, mainly because when you first start, you're gonna find that you'll have maybe like a 1 or 2 second interval after you do each trick. So say you do a pivot in some direction, right? It'll take you maybe, when you first start, like a 3-second gap to transition into a shove it, and then maybe another 5-second gap to transfer into a no comply. So the point is to just practice over and over and over again, and eventually you'll get it down smooth. So I'll show you a few combos that I do to sort of transition smoother. So the first good transition trick you want to have is very basic. It's called a body varial. What a body varial does is it sort of puts you in your reverse riding position. So say if you're a goofy rider like I am, then you'll do a body varial and you end up in your left. So you I'll end up in regular, and vice versa. There's a lot of ways to do body varials. For example, I was just hopping with 2 feet. Like, this is easy stuff, and I found that hopping with 2 feet like that doesn't really look good. So what a lot of good longboarders do is they actually do body varials on 1 foot. It's kind of hard to demonstrate with a camera in my hand, so I'll try to show you guys like a side view of that. So for the body varial, it's nice to throw those in after pivots because it's kind of like doing a twirl. It looks like a pirouette, except it's not. So I'll try to show you guys that from the side and just observe how after I do the pivot, I go right into that body varial on 1 foot. So it's like I'm spinning around and I'm back ready to do another pivot or a shove it. So it'll help you with your combos greatly. So as you saw there, what I did was a fakie frontside pivot to a body varial to another fakie frontside pivot. So I'll show you guys real quick here. So I'm in fakie, which means that I'm in regular, left foot first. And then what I do is I do a fakie frontside pivot this way. and then I do a body varial, and I do another Fakie frontside pivot. So essentially what it is it's a 180 to a 180 to a 180. It's 3 moves, okay? Again, this is just demonstrating the body varial transition and mixing it into your chaining. So essentially the 2 chain tricks are a pivot, and the transition trick in between is a body varial to be able to get back to the position to do the pivot again. So the next transition trick I'll be showing you guys is a sort of shove it variation. So first off, you want to get your shove it down, obviously, and after you have your shove it down, you'll know that you land with both feet on the board like so, right? Now the difference of this one is the focus goes to your front foot, which for me is my left foot in Fakie. For regular riders, when you're a Fakie, it's going to be your right foot standing on the nose. So for me, it's my left foot standing on the nose. So the attention goes to this foot here. Now what's going to happen for this transition trick is you're going to stay on the nose much longer than you do with a shove it. You know that in a shove it, you do sort of a scissor kick motion, and that's it. And the board flicks around and you land back on it solid with both feet. Now for this one, you're going to keep your front foot much longer on the nose. So what I mean is you're going to start to twist around like that, and then you're going to flick the board pretty much when you do a cross step. So it's a bit tricky and it's a bit hard to understand, but you're going to basically do this. You'll be riding along, and then you're going to sort of twist all the way around, and then when you're about when your feet have crossed, basically like when your feet have crossed like that due to the pivot, then you're going to do the flick, and then you're going to bring your foot around. So I went through chaining, which is basically combining all the shuvits, pivots, other freestyle tricks, and dancing that you have. You can even throw in some slides in there. It's, again, the possibilities are infinite, so it's kind of hard to teach this one. I also went through a few transition tricks too. I went through a shove it variation, which is similar to the skateboard walk the dog, and a body varial, 1 foot body varial. And you can also do 2 foot body varial, as in just turning your body. So those transition tricks will help your chaining look smoother, because in between your tricks they'll take away that kind of buffer time in between. But yeah, the concept is there, so if you understand it, go out and practice. It's a lot of fun to be able to be creative with this one. Again, there's an infinite possibilities. You can create anything you want. One I like doing, for example, is a slide shove it to a shove it to a shove it to a Fakie frontside pivot to a body varial to a pivot. So yeah, that's a mouthful, but it's a lot of fun to be able to create your own combos. So get out there, practice that, wear a helmet, and have a good time, guys. Thank you for watching.